How to make produce last longer. Reduce waste. 5 tips for you today. Was saying what...
Plus some bonuses, maybe.
Plus some bonuses. Well, we're not going through canning. I grew up on a lot of that. Oh, like canned sweet or frozen sweet corn.
Oh, yes.
Canned pickles, beets, green beans. My mom did all of that.
Did y'all have a farm?
No, we had a big old garden. Big old garden, not a farm. Yes. Okay. So good stuff. So we're not going to go through that today necessarily. And I know there is, freezing things, which is a good way to save produce, especially like avocados. Mm-hmm. Avocado.
I have something for that.
No, we don't need to do that. She has the DJ mode. Wow. Just... Okay.
That was just a tease for what's about to come.
Exactly. Well, like you could freeze them and store them and then drop them into a smoothie really easily, or you could freeze it, then set it in the fridge and then have it later in the day. These are like my just throw up tips real fast. Of course, any of these vegetables and stuff could be frozen and used for a stir fry or dropped into something, but outside
smoothies for fruit.
Smoothies, yep. So I'm assuming you know how to put stuff in the freezer and you're probably not taking the time to can. Maybe you are. If you are, you're awesome. But tell us the top 5 not so obvious that we should be going after so we don't waste on groceries. We're buying organic food. We're trying to get better. We're following Dr. Living Good. Make food simple.
That's the first bonus tip would be I only buy what I know we're going to eat. And so I'll buy, for example, I have celery here. I will only buy celery if I know I have 2 or 3 recipes throughout the week that I will use it, because otherwise I know 100% of the time it will go to waste. So I'm making my meal plans around the week based on what I'm purchasing, what I'm buying. If I'm buying an extra vegetable that I maybe wouldn't always have in the house, I'm going to have at least a couple of recipes that I can use.
We constantly have a veggie dish, and any leftover veggies are going in there.
If you know anything about this Living Good crew, we always have cut up vegetables. So some people say don't use your vegetables until you're ready to eat them, and just cut them up as you're ready to eat them. So in this house, we won't eat them unless they're cut up, because we just get this. If someone's hungry, I just say, okay, here you go.
Fine, here's what you get.
If you're hungry
they'll
before
eat dinner, and 30 minutes later, they're like, we're hungry. I'm like, okay, you can have vegetables.
They always know that.
So they get slimy over time. How do we prevent this?
So you want to first thing, when you cut them and get them out of like a baby carrot bag, you first thing want to leave them out for a little bit and let them dry. You don't want to dump in the carrot bag with all the water that comes out of it, or cut your cucumber and let it be wet, and then put your lid on it. The moisture is going to be it's going to expedite your rotting process. So I always keep a paper towel in the bowl, and I have to replace it every couple of days. Or you can get the what are they called, like a flour. I have some organic ones I think on the market. Some flour like towels. Yep, towel. And put that in there as well. And the moisture then gets sucked into your paper towel instead of extra soggy vegetables and wasted vegetables.
Excellent for veggies. You can always freeze those so you can store them, throw them into a stir fry later on.
If you're spinach, or could buy a bag broccoli instead of a head of broccoli, anything that comes in a bag or a plastic container, you can also put your paper towel in. And I don't always do super tight. I just kind of let it be open to the air as much as I can in the vegetables, in the fridge as well.
You're going after this guy next. Some mint, cilantro, any kind of herb that you're using. What are we doing there?
Herbs, you're cutting off the bottoms and you're putting them in a little cup in the fridge. Cilantro, parsley.
Looks kind of cute.
They're cute. The only thing you wouldn't want to do that with is basil. Basil will go rotten faster if you do that.
Wow, pro tip there.
Herb, water. The other thing with water you can do, I don't know if this is going into number 3 or not. I've lost count already.
Yeah, roll right into number 3.
Water. Throw a little bit of vinegar in water and take your vegetables.
So this is storage of fruits and or vegetables potentially.
Mostly I would do this with fruits.
Fruits.
You could probably do it with anything because you're just washing them with a little bit of vinegar water. You don't want too much vinegar, but you could do it with both. So you're letting this soak for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then you're laying them out to dry, completely dry, and then you're on a paper towel or whatnot. Once they're dry, you can put them back in the container that you buy them with if you're going to wash ahead of time. You want to make sure that they're dry. You can put them back in the container. Again, you'll want a paper towel to let it soak up the moisture. You can just put it back in here because it does have the vents in their container to let them breathe more.
Ethylene gases. given off a lot of time.
You just want to make sure there's not the moisture just sitting in there. So the main thing I do with my vegetables, I don't soak them every time. It does take a little bit extra time with 3 kids I don't have. So what I do with mine is I just don't wash my fruits and vegetables until I'm ready to eat them.
Another pro tip.
I just keep them in their original containers until I'm ready to eat them. I don't cut them, I don't wash them and put them back in and let them be extra wet in there. So I would just wash as I go, personally. Vegetables, things like celeries, if you're doing like large carrots and whatnot, you can, even like asparagus, you could keep these in water. Even like a mason jar of water, cut your vegetables, put them in water, screw the lid on, or a container like this. I don't have mason jars, so I just put mine in water.
So veggies are going more just water.
Right.
And then with fruits, you're going water with some organic.
Depends on your veggie. Or you want it to be dry, like a
Correct.
broccoli or a spinach, you want to stay dry. But if you want to keep something like a celery or a carrot longer, more of the moist vegetables, you would keep them in water longer.
Fruit,
you don't
little
wash.
vinegar, and then taking it out.
You don't wash till you're...
Avocados, yeah, you know what's up next. So with that,
You don't want me to do the song?
I don't. At the end we will. So when did you put these in here?
I put these in Monday. I think we got them.
Okay.
And
So depending on when you're watching, that's 5 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. 5 days ago.
You're
So
swinging a
when-
knife around. You can talk.
So when you buy your avocados, you typically want to buy them for when you're going to use them. If I know I'm going to use them today, I want them a little bit more soft from the store. But if I can't find any, and they're 2 tips with avocados actually. If they're too hard and I want to use them fast, yes.
Perfect. Little squishiness, but didn't lose the ripeness.
If I need some and I can't find, they're hard at the store and I need to use them faster, put them in a brown paper bag. Put them in a brown paper bag with something like maybe something citrus or an apple. That will help speed along the process. It won't be immediately that day, but it would probably be the next day.
Utilizing the ethylene to speed up the softening of it a bit is what's
Normally,
happening.
you want
It's
to
giving off some
keep
gas.
the ethylene
Correct.
away from your vegetables.
Put it next to the
or fruits.
bananas. It'll ripen faster.
Exactly. But if you know they're going to go to waste, so I always buy a minimum of a bag of 6 for us, for our family. And if I know that I'm going to waste some of them, I'll put them in the fridge in a bowl of water, and that they'll last all week that way.
And with this is a huge tip as far as the water. But if you know I'm not going to use them for even longer than that, these are fantastic in smoothies. Most of you do not eat enough healthy fat, and so you burn fat by eating fat. This is a great superfood. Slice it up, get it out of the peel is the pro tip here, because it's going to be hard to get off of if you freeze it like this. Same thing with bananas. And you put this in the freezer, freeze it, drop it into a smoothie. Just a half of one makes it very creamy.
You won't
It's a
taste
delicious
it, and
add.
it'll make it more like a smoothie consistency.
Or if you want to have one for dinner on a salad, you can freeze them, pull it out of the freezer, put it into the fridge, wait till evening to be perfectly unfrozen and ready to use. So finally, we're moving on to fruits.
Pro tip from
And
you.
I know, fruits and vegetables.
Well, so speaking of the ethylene gases that come from more the citrusy, or onion, I think has it. You want to keep your fruits and vegetables separate.
Mangoes, bananas, strawberries, a lot of these fruits give off this gas, and that's going to affect everything around it.
So citrus, especially citrus, will last longer in the fridge. So oranges, apples, your lemons and limes,
In the
they'll
fridge.
last forever in the fridge.
Okay.
That's
good.
And if you don't like a cold apple, then just set one out every morning, and it'll be warm by the time you're ready to eat them. But they'll last longer in the fridge. Something more like a sweet potato, tomatoes, things like that, you want to store out on the
Kids eat a
counter.
lot of sweet potatoes.
Yes, but they'll last longer on the counter.
Garlic, mangoes, bananas, those can sit on the counter, let them breathe a bit more.
Right, and then you always just want to keep them separate. So in our fridge, we have the fruit drawer and the vegetable drawer, and they have those little indicators of which one's in which drawer, and that's for humidity level. So like fruits and
Wow, I was
citruses,
wondering what that was for.
you just thought it was like to
They
label.
just like, they're like, thank you for labeling them for me.
I want to store my cheese in here though. Where do I put that?
You're impressive today.
The fruits, you want less moisture, but less
Less of
humidity.
everything.
Less humidity. So it's going to allow less humidity into that drawer. Some of your vegetables, you'll want more humidity in there, and so you would separate the two and put them on the right.
You're trying to help your family eat better. You're trying to eat better yourself. You buy all this food and it goes to waste. We don't want to see that happen to you. So some great ways that you can extend the life of your food and or freeze them and use them later so that you can get those nutrients in and make food simple. There are some resources below for you to make this come together. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the page for more simple tips like this to make health simple in general, because at the end of the day, you are the solution. So my question as we leave, you can comment below, is what's your favorite food preserving tip? What do you do to preserve food? And maybe you'll learn something else from the comments below. We'll be bringing more resources like the ones that are attached right here.